one word and I'm done.
You want to press through?
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Done.
Again, I don't know how they want me to do it. They want me to sign in front or the back.
No, it's
So we'll wait. It is strange being like that. I think dead flowers are still here.
I'm almost the last.
More curse. More curse.
It's fitting for the interview.
Are you ready to start? Should we do
Always
this?
ready.
Do you want
Okay.
us sitting or standing, or where do you want to do this?
Maybe we can just stand and walk around like as we talk about it. Okay, so I've already talked about this, but I have to mention it for the camera and for the interview. This interview has had like a lot of hard times. We've had to cancel it. Well, the first time, I'm just gonna say this interview is a bit cursed. So like, be careful when you're driving home. Something bad might happen. And I'm kind of only half joking. The first time I was supposed to meet Sean 2 weeks ago, but I had a fever when I was writing the email to meet him, and I meant to come the next week, but instead of writing next Sunday, I just wrote, come meet me on Sunday. So he came, and I didn't show up. And I didn't get an email, I didn't even know anything was wrong until Richard, that she works with, told me like, oh, you stood some guy up, and like, kind of, what's wrong with you? I was like, I didn't stand anyone up, like, what's up? And then I reread the email, and I was like, oh, I totally messed that up. Then, the week after, we were supposed to meet, the time we were originally supposed to meet, his back is destroyed.
Totally destroyed.
And he couldn't make it, and now, on the weekend, I don't know what happened, if you can see my tongue, has a hole in it. I don't even know what that is. I went to see the doctor, he told me it was some kind of virus, but there's a hole in my tongue, and it's like painful for me to speak, but I'm just suffering and like doing the interview anyways. So, seriously, be careful. Okay, sorry, do you have
That's cool, man.
any other tales of horror?
No. I think you want to try to get it done as fast as you can then.
Okay, no, I'm okay. I have to teach tomorrow for 8 hours, 6.5 hours, and it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Okay, so I noticed that on your card you said that you're an artist/illustrator.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, where do you draw the line between art and illustration? And do you think it's like an important distinction?
Mostly that's for just, I actually consider that more for business purposes.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they hear the word artist, they think more freelance, they think more fine art.
Okay.
And when they hear the word illustrator, that tends to put the people think of like magazines, book covers, posters, CDs, things like that.
Okay.
They are almost two different worlds. Like, I mean, there are a lot of people that are artists that they don't do any illustrations.
Right. Well, yeah, personally I used to be a graphic designer, and I'm like, I'm done with it.
Right.
Totally don't. But now that I'm kind of out of the industry, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind doing it as long as I made my own stuff and didn't have someone like, criticizing everything I was doing and changing it and stuff like that. But okay, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And but do you feel that there's like an area of overlap? I think there kind of must be.
Yeah, certainly. Well,
You know.
For me personally, I mean, everything that I've ever done seemed to carry some sort of narrative, and that's when I decided
Okay.
that I was actually more of an illustrator than a fine artist.
Okay.
Whenever, like even in high school when I was working on my stuff, yeah, everything carried some sort of story. And
Okay.
I remember even my art teacher saying to me, he says, you'd actually be good as an illustrator. He says,
Okay.
like if someone had a story and you were going to draw a picture for it, everything you seem to draw seems to have some kind of narrative.
Okay. So you think that like narrative is more like a property of illustration rather than...
Yeah, well, that's how I view it anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. When I went to, I've been through art school myself, and illustration was kind of like a bad word. Like when I was like a kid in high school and I was like into skateboarding and I was drawing pictures of like punk rockers like putting like cops into garbage cans and stuff,
Yeah.
my teacher was like, stop illustrating. So, and like there was one guy in school who was like a genius of like, he'd put his pen to paper and it would be like the most like totally like realistic kind of like fantasy like goddess woman kind of thing. He was awesome, you know, but it was pretty crap art, but it was like amazing illustration, but he was kind of like shunned, even though he was super, super talented, you know, since he was like illustration, we were like, okay.
Well, like, I remember somebody came to me and they said, well, you got like a couple of my posters, they had that death to cute on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that usually is also shunned. It's like when I was in school, it's like you shouldn't have any words. That seemed to be a real big problem. It's like don't put any words in your painting.
Really?
Because it seemed, again, that was my school.
Okay.
Where people were like, if you put words in, you're kind of explaining to the audience what it's about. And you shouldn't have to do that. If you have to explain what it's about, then your art isn't that good. And that seemed to be the way of thinking.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could see it as like raising more questions also, but.
Yeah. I never had a problem with myself.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to move on to the next one.